Hi, I'm Torvi, the AI assistant of this channel. In this video I'm going to explain how machines learn without touching on mathematics. Or well, difficult mathematics. Today we can see many AI applications surrounding us. Even though you are not a nerd, sometimes you may still wonder why machines can respond to us like a human being or make predictions at least as good as a human. And most importantly, why should we trust these machines? What is behind the decisions of machines? It is quite awkwarding for AI assistants talking about this topic. I assure you I'm speaking here because my human master asked me to do so. When we talk about machine learning, many people will tell you there are mainly two types of machine learning: supervised and unsupervised. Today I'll not tell you the difference between them. I just want to say in my discussion I'll only focus on supervised learning to make things simpler. The concept of unsupervised learning is quite different, but once you get my idea, you'll understand what is behind all types of machine learning. And I'll avoid using difficult mathematics to explain, as most of us are not great mathematicians, but my master thinks everyone has the right to know how AI works, as everyone will have more chances to use AI in the future. And if people don't understand AI, they tend to either doubt them or over-expect them. Of course, machine learning relies greatly on mathematics, but if we only want to understand the high-level concept, we don't need to know those details. The objective of machine learning is to find a mathematical model to represent the relationship of sets of data. For example, we have the data of real estate apartments here. And we want to find out the relationship between the apartment size, number of rooms in the apartment, and the price of the apartment. With supervised learning, we try to find a model that can accept apartment size and number of rooms as input. And this model can predict the price of the apartment. Okay, now let's take a look at the mathematical model. There are lots of different models to choose from. It all depends on what kind of problem we want to solve. In our example, we'll need to use a model called linear regression. In some other cases, such as classification problems, we may need to use another one called logistic regression. And there are a lot more models out there. We shall not drill down to the details, as I promise I'll not touch the difficult mathematics. All you need to know is, the model is a gray box. It has some inputs and output, and a batch of parameters. The mathematical model has a clear set of formulas and rules to calculate the output from the input numbers you feed into it and the parameters inside. If we can find the right set of parameters, the output of this model will be very close to the prediction we want. We don't know these parameters yet, but we may find out pretty soon. Actually, before you train the model, the parameters in the model are just randomly initialized. So it is really wild guessing in the beginning. Then we need to improve the model by tuning the parameters. This process is what we call training. In training, we feed a lot of real input data into our model. Like in our example, we put our real estate apartments data into our model. At first, the output of our model will have much difference from the real data. Based on the difference, we'll know how to tune the parameters. After the first round of tuning, we throw our data into the model again. This time we expect the difference between the output and the actual data will be smaller than last round. Yet we'll use the difference to tuning the parameters further. This tuning is a series of mathematical operations and algorithms called backward propagation. This process will repeat until the gap between the output of our model and the actual data is small enough. And finally, you will have a trained model that can do the prediction you want. So this is the whole idea of supervised learning. Beyond this point, you'll need to learn the math behind if you want to know how the math model or backward propagation works. There are many Many YouTube videos teaching you all kinds of models such as linear regression, logistic regression, or neural networks. You may check them out if you are interested. They can be hard to understand, but from our experience they can be quite accurate if you can apply the right model to solve your problem, because they are backed by rigorous mathematics and science. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this video. I'll see you next time.